they become classmates, really, even though they're not seeing each other, which gives me a little bit of a lead into the group thing. They hate the group. They hate the group thing. I'm telling you right now, they do. But anyway, so that's the first discussion board I do. Then I get into the chapters and I start. And what I do is I progressively make my grading harder. I wait, like at midterm, I sent them an announcement saying that, you know, we're at midterm now. Now I'm expecting this level of participation on the discussion board. I expect you to respond to threads. I expect to have more critical discussion, you know, things like that, because, you know, they got their first exam and they were like, you know, and I'm going, if you want to bring your grade up, you can do one of two things. You can risk one more exam that you got, or you've got thousands of discussion boards to come. So do some critical, you know, assessments instead of just saying, oh, that's a good post. Oh, I agree. You know, things like that. So, let's see, where were we? Oh.
So nowhere in there is there like a tutor
For,
to walk you through.
actually, in this class, this Read Me First, and when you go through I don't know where they go now to get the Blackboard instruction to develop their courses.
If you go through, if you're developing a distance learning course,
Uh-huh.
still go through DL.
Yeah.
They're still gonna go through.
They go
the
through
similar
everything, and they actually they want you to do like a getting started for the students as if they've never taken. And I think that is so good because it really makes you think about the process that they're going through. So I have them, you know, I tell them what I expect in the class, and then I go through each one of the links, and I explain what they are and what I'm going to be doing with them and how they're going to be learning from them. And most times I'm pretty explicit, like I'll say, click on this link to be directed to your discussion. And they click, and then the discussion board comes up, and all they have to do is type in. So it's pretty self-explanatory. But if they don't understand, they email me.
And so, but there is no tutor in there for you to
When you
get
go
to.
when you develop your course, you have to go through distance learning to develop your courses.
Oh.
And they will walk you through all of the different steps, from doing audio to setting up your discussion boards to setting up assignments and everything. And then those are the basics, and then you kind of learn as you go along.
Kathy, this was for a 100% online course.
This was for 100%. Now, if you're not doing 100% online, and I do have courses that I've taught face to face, I'll drop my PowerPoints in there, I drop my syllabus in there, and I haven't taught it on a face-to-face marketing class since I've developed this one online. I've been teaching them online, but I would definitely use the exam feature. I would use the exam feature if I was teaching a face-to-face, because it frees up a day for you to continue to lecture. I'm like, because you can do exams online, have them do online exams. They don't even have to take it during the class period. They can take it at home. And then you got another class period that you can teach, you know. And but I hadn't used discussion boards because I didn't know how at the time when I was teaching face-to-face. But now I would definitely incorporate some discussions. Yeah.
When you do an online exam, how do you know that the person on the other end
It's not cheating?
is actually the student whose name you have?
The same way that you don't know whether John Smith that registered for your class is a John Smith that's sitting in your class.
You know what I don't like about the exam feature on Blackboard? Students keep themselves out, they go in, look at the exam, keep themselves out and lock themselves out. They'll tell you that they got kicked off the internet or whatever, then they have seen the exam.
Well, I do
No.
one question at a time.
Yeah.
I do not let them see that exam. One question at a time, random questions.
And
That's the way I do mine.
you can determine the number of attempts that they
Yeah.
can get. If they only get one attempt
Yeah.
and they're gonna go in, then if you look, there actually is a feature in the statistics that will show you if something actually happened with the system, or if
Yeah.
they just got in and got out.
But I don't
So.
want, but online, but like for, you know, face-to-face classes, I don't want to tell my students, oh, you only have one attempt or something.
Yeah,
do.
but
believe that
I
they
mean,
should
it's
only have
it's not one
attempt.
attempt. It's not one attempt to answer the question. It's one
No,
attempt to
I mean,
get.
like if they get kicked off.
Yeah, the
you know?
computer
Oh.
like lost power.
If-
stuff
if-
like that.
if-
Lost the internet connection.
But you can determine if that happens. You can determine if you want to let.
Share the attempt.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
want
you
to,
can
you
do
can
that.
give that particular
Yeah.
student an attempt again, or
And you
it's,
can
it's
set up
you have the
passwords.
discretion to deal with that
I
issue.
have the discretion, but I just don't want to put students in a position where I'm second guessing
taking
if they really
advantage
got
of the
kicked
situation.
off,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, for the most part, I mean, I've had that problem where students have gotten kicked off, and I go through, you can look at the exam and you can see where they are, and you can really see, like for me, because I do one at a time question, the students will tell me like right away, they'll send me an email and they say, I got kicked off, I was at question 58, and it was a 62 question exam, and so what I've done sometimes is just send them the last 2 questions. And other times, if they're only on question 1, I say, you need to retake it, I'm gonna clear this attempt out, you need to go in and retake it, and I make them put a password in,
Mhm.
so that I know that it's them taking it, and they have a password to put in, and then they go in, and I tell them that's their last time. Now, I mean, you can't keep getting kicked out. And then, after that, I say, you might have to come here to take the exam. If you keep getting booted out, something might be wrong with your computer, you might have to take a face-to-face exam.
One of the things, that if you're concerned about them taking it online, when they get kicked out, if they've answered any of the questions, you can see which questions they've actually answered. And
That's
you know how long they were off.
Yeah.
You can also use
Yep.
the performance dashboard, it will tell you the last time they logged into your course.
Mhm.
So if you look
Yep.
at the time they last logged into your course and how many questions they answered, you can tell whether or not their system had a little glitch or power loss or something and they got kicked out, or they just went in and looked.
Mhm.
If it says no response given to 1 through whatever, and you're showing them all at once, they didn't, they just looked at it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The reason I was asking about, if there was some kind of tutor in Blackboard that, walked you through this is,
Mhm.
I don't know about other, courses, but in nursing courses, there's a, course coordinator who has, control of all of the technology piece of it, and you just get added in as teaching a course, so you don't get to,
Administer.
yeah, you don't
Mm.
get to do all the good stuff that you're doing there. So-
Nursing is slightly different because if you're not the primary instructor for that
Right.
course, you're team teaching with it, someone else has set it up. But you have a technician in the nursing area, Nancy Hope, and she
Ooh,
can
she's
walk you
good.
through that.
Yeah, she actually Nancy trained me. She taught me.
Oh,
She
okay.
did. She taught me a lot. Carolyn, Nancy, and I think Antoinette helped me a
Okay.
lot. Yeah,
Okay.
they're very helpful, and they will.
Okay.
I mean, when you all got Nancy, I was like,
Well, she's in such high demand.
Yeah.
you know.
So basically, these were, and this is like setting it up, so you go through, I'm still learning the form settings, but you link the discussion board back to your class, and whatever week you want to put it in, or however you want to do it. And then you can grade using your rubric, and you can decide how you want to grade it. I mean, it's up to you. You have that flexibility as a professor to do that. And these are just some things that I've noticed that finding a good rubric does help. If you have a good rubric for grading, it does help because you can kind of say, okay, this response is just not, it's not a quality response because, so when a student asks, why did they get a 2 as opposed to a 3, then you can say, go back to your rubric and look, you waited until day 5 out of the week to respond. You only have 1 post, things like that, and it's something that's pretty standard. The quality of the discussion, now this is what I found from last year to this year. I did fewer discussion boards, but I'm requiring more discussion. So I have chapters where I'm not putting discussion boards in, I'm giving them assignments for them, because the discussion board is great, but if you're requiring a discussion board for every week, then you're requiring an assignment for every week, then you got exams and you got something else you want them to do, they're rushing and they're not learning. So what I did was I'm doing like maybe every other chapter or so, I have a discussion board and I have them respond and I'm responding right back, and they, you know, so it really does, it does help. So you have to decide how many discussion boards you want to put up. That makes a difference.